What's going on, folks? It's your boy James here. I want to thank y'all for joining us for another episode of Off the Rails with James and Jess. Once again, I got another guest here. As you can see, Jess is not here for whatever reason. I can't trust people to actually be on time when I tell them stuff here, but that's fine because I've got myself a very special guest that you see to my. Is this my right? Chiz, are you on my right or on my left?
I'm on your right on the screen, but I'm pretty sure you're pointing towards your right. So you point towards your left.
Okay, cool. So if you can't tell who this is here, I've got a legend in the making here, the Haitian sensation, the man from New York, the man, the myth, the legend. Welcome back, my good buddy, my friend. First time we've done this in 2 years, Mr. Chiseled Adonis. Chiz.
Yes.
It's good seeing you. It's good seeing you, man. Last time we did this was what, 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, it was a while ago. It was some time ago before COVID.
Oh God, man, it's good seeing you, man. Again, man. We got to get on here and do this more often, man. How have you been, brother?
I've been all right. I've been surviving. And for those of the people who don't happen to know who I am the diligent, vigilant, meticulous, sagacious, conscientious, analytical, methodical individual, the Chiseled Adonis, not Jess. I am not Jess, but no. Yes, I am here.
No, Jess is not here. She is out having a fancy dinner somewhere with her folks from over at Barstool Sports, but that's fine. Mm-hmm. We're gonna let her handle business there. So, Chiz, you're gonna take the place of Jess here tonight. I don't know when this is gonna when I'm gonna premiere this and whatnot, but hey, that's what it is, man. So let's get into it, man. First off, brother, you look great, man, as always, man. Your new background is spectacular.
Oh yeah,
you're still getting banned everywhere.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I got banned. I lost my TikTok. I lost my second TikTok last week. So now I've been getting blocked everywhere. I mean, they took my Instagram and then I was able to get it back in 3 days. So I've been walking on eggshells on that. YouTube, I picked up 2 strikes in the month of November. Actually got blocked in the midst of already being blocked. So that was beautiful. But yeah, getting, just torching me all over social media.
Jeez, man. How you been surviving, man?
But prayer, whole lot of thoughts and prayer. That's what's been able to get me through. Thoughts and prayer and freeloading off of my parents.
Haitian voodoo, maybe?
Oh, perhaps. A little bit of water bending here and there. I mean, Doctor Strange, the hand movement is pretty much what I've been doing.
Man, it's always great having you on here, man. You've always been a fan. You've always been a friend of us here, man. Love this relationship I have with you, man. We got to have you on here more if our Jess, love you to death, but we got to quit replacing you here and whatnot, because I would have loved to have had her on here for this first thing I want to get into. Now, both you and Jess are from the New York area. All right. Now, if you've listened to the earlier pods, I brought you up constantly. Oh, before I forget, man, I got to introduce my other assistant here. Shout out Tony Baker, the comedian, because I got my other assistant, Water. Here. All right. Listen, Jess, she loves her champagne. Chiz, you love your liquor, man, but you don't need any of that. This is what you need right here.
Hey, you ain't wrong. I got 2 bottles right here.
You need water, right?
Oh yeah.
All right. When your Steelers are playing like trash and you're taking that warm shower to what's there for you is water. So, make sure. So, folks, shout out Tony Baker for making this drink water. So make sure, matter of fact, I'm gonna take a swig of this water, man. You in on this swig of this water, bro?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Oh man, that's good shit. But yeah, man. So let's get into it, man. So back on that point there, like Tony Baker says, and like Chiseled Adonis backs up. Drink your water, folks. Drink your water. You need it. So listen. Chiz, man, we got to talk about the boroughs of New York, man. There's one that you haven't that's near and dear to your heart there that you just love to rag on, and Jess sort of kind of agrees with you in this case here, and it's the Bronx, I believe.
Yeah.
So I told you when I emailed you, and when we talked about this a while here, man. Correct me if I'm wrong, because it's been a while since I've been in New York. I'm trying to think of all the boroughs there. There's Brooklyn, there's the Bronx, there's Staten Island. Help me out here, man.
And Manhattan.
Okay, so those are the 4.
And also Queens.
Okay,
those will be the 5. Yeah,
so those are our 5 there. All right. So remember, I told you in email, man. I'm going to ask you straight up, man. Why is the Bronx the worst borough of them all? And I need you to show your receipts.
Okay. All right. Well, first and foremost, the Bronx, it smells Atrocious. You wouldn't need a receipt. You just need to show up. Hell, you can go to Cardi B's Instagram, take a sniff of your phone. You'll begin to take a smell of what the Bronx smells like. It's terrible. Doesn't smell good whatsoever. Second, there is nothing good that is made in the Bronx. The Yankees are not what they used to be. Why? Because now everybody's keen to, wait a minute, where's Yankee Stadium? It's in the Bronx. Have they won any championships this past decade? Absolutely not. Why? Because they have not relocated from the Bronx. Move them to Brooklyn. That'd be nice. But then again, they'd raise the taxes. Let's not do that. Then last, I remember when I was younger, I went on a date. It was out there in the Bronx.
Was she fine?
She was all right. She was all right. I was young, but she was all right.
Wait. But when you say she's all right, scale of 1 to 10.
Boy, I scale everything out of 30. So if I had to go, I'd say she was about a let's go with maybe a 17 out of 30. Oh, no. 18 out of 30. We'll go up to 18. So you can round that about like a 6 out of 10. I was fresh out of college. No, I was going into college. But yeah, I was a lonely young man trying to find a companion. And she happened to be from the Bronx.
Okay.
Bad decision. Never gonna do that again. Wasn't worth the time.
Did she show up in Tim's?
No, she did not. But there were people around her who did have Tim's on. In fact, she showed up shoeless. She was homeless. No, that's not what. That's not what happened. But whatever the case was, date did not go as well. It did not end with a willy being wet. So whatever the case was, you know, adds to my disdain from the Bronx. And of everybody I've ever met from the Bronx, I think there's only been 2 redeemable people. Outside of that, it's always been bad. Every time I've gone to the Bronx, it's been bad news. So for that, do not like the Bronx whatsoever.
Those are pretty suitable receipts there. Okay, so top borough in New York.
It's got to be Brooklyn. It's got to be Brooklyn.
Show your receipts.
Oh, yeah, it's got to be Brooklyn. Well, first and foremost, they got the best food. You talk about 5-star restaurants. A lot of people having to go out there to Manhattan because that's what's, commercialized. Well, it's got it's the city within the city and everything. But Brooklyn's got the best food. You love Italian food? Brooklyn's got restaurants. You love Haitian food? Oh, Brooklyn's got a restaurant called Zami right now. I go over there every weekend. Best food in the city. You want some Spanish food? It's all over the place. Any place that you want to grab the best food in the city, it's in Brooklyn. Trinidadian, Jamaican, St. Lucian, all over the Caribbean. Brooklyn, they got all the spots.
Right.
It doesn't matter whatever your taste bud is, Brooklyn's got the best food. As it pertains to fashion, you could probably get that, in Manhattan. They got that stuff in Manhattan, but they got stores in Brooklyn as well. The amount of malls that we have in Brooklyn is ridiculous. I think it's like 3, but it doesn't matter because they got everything that you need. And last but not least, as it pertains to parking, I believe Brooklyn is probably the best borough. As it pertains to parking, transportation, able to maneuver around that particular borough, Brooklyn's got everywhere else beat.
Right.
And the people are the best. It's the home of Biggie.
Okay.
They get no better than Brooklyn.
Well, you can't beat that if you got Biggie in there in that case. I mean, now kind of to transition to that there. Obviously, you're a big Steelers fan. If you're watching this on YouTube, we're going to probably get that on here probably within the week. Mr. Adonis, as y'all know, if you follow him, is a big Steelers fan. I am a Titans fan. Both of our teams are, well, I don't know. I mean, the only thing that we've had going with us right now is that we've lost the king, the liege, the Kraken himself. Derrick Henry is out with an unfortunate injury. I'm hoping we get him back by the time playoffs roll around, because I really like for us. I need something good, to end this year here. Chiseled, if you remember, man, I was pretty confident when I think I posted on your video when you had your prediction. I was pretty confident that we were actually going to run over, around, and through you, that Derrick was going to do that there. And now I really don't know, because I mean, listen, you said it yourself, your Steelers are struggling. But if you look at what you got on the other side there, Julio is questionable. AJ Brown is,
I believe he's out. Yeah, I think I was just looking at it. I think they still said that he's out right now. Yeah, and for Julio, apparently they're talking about he's not even going to get that much of a workload in this game. I was fully prepared because Julio returned for the first time in a month last week. And then now, but it was kind of just, he was in some place, he was out, but I thought he would be not back to 100%, but at least, getting a good percentage of the workload. Evidently, that's not going to be the case. Yeah, that was Jacksonville. Yeah, but still, I mean, that if there's a team to perfectly work your way back into a groove, Jacksonville's a team to do it. Yeah. But now, I mean, still, regardless of that, Tennessee's still they, if I'm not mistaken, tied for the lead in the AFC. I think it's a 3-way tie. Well, now Kansas City has taken, because they've got 10 wins, but New England tonight has an opportunity to get there, and then ultimately Tennessee as well tomorrow. So we will see, but still, your Tennessee Titans are a very formidable team.
I mean, you know what? That sounds good coming from you there, man. But I'd feel a whole lot better going into this game if we had 22 in the backfield. Because I mean, you've said so yourself. Your defense is, Steelers defense is, I don't want to say terrible. I don't want to say terrible.
Oh, you should.
No, listen, you're the guest host here today, man. I'm rolling out the red carpet for you or any of my guests that I have on there. So I'm not going to say terrible. It just needs a little more seasoning, if you will. Because, when you go to a restaurant there and, the food looks good there, but it's just lacking of seasoning, right? So, maybe that's what it is there in that case. And speaking of Jacksonville, let me ask you this. I haven't seen you post anything about Urban Meyer as of yet. I know after everything that came out in this case there, let's say that you're on an NFL roster and Urban Meyer's your coach and the man kicks you. I know you got something to say.
Yeah, you kick me, there'll be a kick coming back. It's not, you're not going to be able to get away with stuff like that, because I think with Urban Meyer, what was going through his mind was, he's a guy who coached at the college level
and was successful
and was very, very, very successful at the college level. I think if I'm not mistaken, 3 national championships, 2 with Florida, 1 with Ohio State.
Yeah, you're right.
And a great number of bowl games, victories that he happened to have. The difference is in college, these are kids transitioning into adulthood. So you can talk to them, a certain way. And on top of that, they're not getting paid. So if they're making mistakes,
then they weren't not getting paid.
Then they weren't getting paid. But if they're making mistakes, they're in a position where, they're replaceable like this. Hell, they're not taking care of business in their classes, scholarship dropped, all this other stuff. At this point, you're dealing with grown adults who's got families to feed at this point.
Families to feed, mortgages to pay.
Exactly. And you're going to go, somebody's having a very rough day or something like that. Your method of coaching is, hey, let me go and physically assault this individual and then verbally berate them as well. Something's wrong with you. Now, don't get me wrong. I think he could have got his point across without kicking Josh Lambo. And I don't know how hard he may have kicked Josh Lambo. Whatever the case is, unless you've cultivated that kind of relationship with your players, you don't do stuff like that. Like if Pete Carroll goes over and kicks Russell Wilson, be like, hey, man, make a better throw. Knowing the relationship that Pete Carroll has with Russell Wilson, he can probably get away with that because he'll probably come off in jest and joke and laugh. And Russell could probably respond and say, hey, maybe you got to coach a little bit better. And they'll both have a good laugh and then go on and sleep with Ciara in a threesome. But that's neither here nor there. As it pertains to Urban Meyer, you're a guy where every single week there's been something in Jacksonville, whether it's been him getting caught, with ladies on his lap that's not his wife, whether it's Trevor Lawrence losing more games in a year than he has in his entire football career, dating back to Pop Warner. I mean, on pace. Well, he was on pace, not anymore, but was most likely going to break Peyton Manning's interception record for a rookie. And this is a guy who was the number 1 quarterback coming out of college, probably the highest prospect for quarterback since maybe Peyton Manning in 98.
Right.
And here he is looking like absolute garbage.
I mean, the problem with here's the thing I've learned about the NFL, having worked in it as an intern for a number of years and also working in the college game as a younger, much better looking student during that time there. Like you said there yourself there, in the college game, these are kids that are trying to get to where those NFL guys are at this point now, right? You're absolutely right. You can say and you can do whatever you want there. And these kids will, yes sir, no sir, because they're trying to get here.
Yep.
right? But it's also at the same time, it's also a question of, is the system a fit, right? I mean, God, I can't give an example here, whatnot. I mean, okay, fine. Let's look at your NFC. Let's look at your AFC North Division rivals, the Baltimore Ravens, right? They draft Lamar Jackson. What do they do? Lamar Jackson, who, I don't know if you see the Louisville logo on there.
Oh yeah, I see it.
But from my hometown there, whatnot. So yeah, familiar with the guy. Everything that he's doing in the league now. Been there, seen it, done it, got a T-shirt. But we're not talking about that right now. What do the Ravens do when they draft Lamar? They take their system and they adjust it to him. You could argue it's worked pretty well, right?
Oh, absolutely. And moreover, to add to your point, they adjusted their system in the middle of the season.
Yes.
Because when Flacco got hurt, it was like a flip of a switch. Here comes Lamar. And if I'm not mistaken, he went, 5-1?
He did.
And then, or actually, it might have been more because he took over at I believe it was week 9 or because Pittsburgh had beaten Baltimore. And then I think it was a week after is when Lamar Jackson had taken over. So it was about week 9, week 10, or whatever the case was. So I think it was actually 6-1 or 7-1. Well, probably not. Yeah, I think it was 6-1 or 5-1 that he took over and then ultimately lost the playoff game. And then the next season, he goes on to win the MVP.
Right.
And I constantly talk about this, like you had said, the style of the offense, the style of the coaching, the style of the system that you have your team, running. Because if you got I think that's one of the reasons why Ohio State quarterbacks have struggled historically in the NFL. I can't count on my hand the Pro Bowl quarterbacks from Ohio State. I couldn't tell you one right now. This side of the millennium, I don't think there's one.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to find one. I can't think one off the top of my head right now.
Like it's brutal. I think there was a statistic when I think was it the Patriots, the Buccaneers were playing against the Bears.
Yeah.
And knowing that Tom Brady is, a Michigan alum, they had up a statistic of Tom Brady wins as a quarterback up against all Ohio State quarterbacks that have ever played in the National Football League. Not Tom Brady's head-to-head against them. Just all time, Tom Brady's wins versus Ohio State quarterback wins. Brady blew them out of the water by about 100+ wins.
There you go.
The NFL has been in existence for 102 years. Ohio State has never been able to have a quarterback that plays at an elite level. And you got somebody who's coming out of Clemson, like a Trevor Lawrence, proven winner, walks into Jacksonville, and that's the curse of the NFL, because when you got a winner in college, you got the best players go to the worst teams. But there are times where the teams make the appropriate adjustments and they get, surround their players with the right guys, and you can turn that into W's. That's simply not the case in Jacksonville.
Man, you're absolutely right in that case there. So let's move on here, because there's also something else that you're also very passionate about, and that is professional wrestling, man. I mean, there's no one I've known that knows more about that I've seen than you in this case. Let me ask you this here, and this is something that I kind of debated about for a while there. I want to ask you about, the two big promotions that are, I wouldn't really say going, WWE and AEW right now. But I want to ask you this here. If someone, my co-host Jess, if she is not into it in this case, she's not into wrestling at all, that poor soul. That's okay. We still love her. If you were going to come up to if someone was going to come up to you and say, hey, I'm interested in getting into professional wrestling, give me 5 matches that you would point them towards to be like, if you want to get into and see the good matches here, these are the 5 you need to look at. I think for me, I can't really come up with 5. I think WrestleMania 3, Macho Man and Ricky Steamboat is 1.
Oh yeah.
I want to say Bret Hart, Stone Cold.
Oh yeah.
Each of those
13. Oh yeah.
Each of their matches that they had there, because they had a few of them. I want to say there was 3 that I remember. But
Stone Cold and Bret Hart.
Yeah, Stone Cold and Bret Hart.
Yeah, they had a number of. It might be more than 3. It might be around like the 5-6 range.
Yeah, but
that they had. Yes.
I'm trying to think other one here. I mean, a lot of them have. Anything that Edge has been in with, the cage match that he had at Crown Jewel with Rollins was also.
Oh yeah, that was
one.
Great.
But give me, and it doesn't have to be just WWE. And I would also throw on Iron Man match, Brett and so I'm sorry, but a lot of those matches that I think are the best ones there have, probably include Brett in it for a good reason. But it doesn't have to be WWE. Give me your top 5.
So if I had to go top 5,
well, let me rephrase that. Top 5 that you would say, listen, these are the ones you want to watch, because you can 10 years later, 20 years later, you could still watch and be like, this was a good match.
Okay. All right. So straight out the gate, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 25, their first WrestleMania match. In my opinion, greatest match of all time. That match was from start to finish, action, amazing storytelling. Even if you've never known who these guys were, captivated straight out the gate. There's that right there. Next, I would say, because of the way the crowd operated and also the nostalgia of the sport at this point, The Rock, Stone Cold, WrestleMania 17.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
That one right there. And of their trilogy, I think that was their best match. And on top of that, WrestleMania 17 is the greatest WrestleMania of all time.
Absolutely.
But that match there, because even if you don't know anything about wrestling, I'm pretty sure you would know who The Rock is, because he's the biggest movie star right now, despite the fact he only acts in one role. But it's just, what's your role, Rock? It's me, Rock. That's literally what it is. So whatever the case is, that match right there, because for one, both guys were the biggest things in the company at that particular time, because The Rock really rose to that number one, and Stone Cold was the former number one who got hurt and now came back to take his spot. And the crowd was in a frenzy from start to finish. There's that match too. So I would say that match, Rock and Austin, Taker and Shawn, and then I would go for a third match there, because I can't have a top 5 and not have Brett. I would say, man, do I want to go Brett Piper or do I want to go Brett Bulldog?
Ooh. Oh.
I don't know if I want to go Brett Piper. I think I'll go Brett Bulldog. Because they were in Wembley and Bulldog was clearly the home favorite. Oh, yeah. That crowd reaction, because Brett and Piper was a magnificent match, but then having the crowd have somebody specifically to cheer for, I think I'll give it to Brett and Bulldog.
Well, hold on that Brett Bulldog match there, it seemed like it was almost 50-50. There was, yes.
There was definitely, a lot of Brett guys, because outside of the United States, and hell, Brett was over in the United States, but outside of the United States, Brett was a global hero.
Yeah.
Like, this guy was big in India before WWE even had those ties to India. So it's crazy. So there's definitely that match as well. Bailey, Sasha Banks, Takeover Brooklyn in 2015.
Were you at that match?
I was at that match. Greatest women's match of all time. And truly, in my opinion, it's a top 10 wrestling match all time.
Right.
That match right there, what from start to finish, the emotion that they were able to conjure up, the crowd never wavering at all throughout the entire match, the way they were able to sell during that match as well, magnificent, absolutely magnificent. And then if I had to have a final match,
I'm making this tough for you. We do the hard-hitting questions here.
If I had to give a final match, now this one's very tough, because I've got to see, because I can't have one Michaels, because Michaels always had magnificent matches. But if you want to get the essence of wrestling, Kurt Angle, Chris Benoit, Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble.
I think that was
2001,
really?
2003. No, it could have been 2000. No, actually, I think it may have been 2003. Because I remember they had a title match, but it was I can't remember which year it was. No, I think it was 2001. Maybe it was 2001. But Chris Benoit, Kurt Angle, and I actually, there was a moment where I went to a meet and greet, and it was Kurt Angle's meet and greet, and I had asked him, I said, "What is your favorite match of all time, off the record?" And then he said, "On the record, him and Shawn at WrestleMania 21.
That was a good match.
It was a magnificent match. But he said off the record, because at the time he was employed by WWE, him and Benoit, whatever work they ever did, magnificent. You talk about technical wrestling. And in my opinion, despite the fact that I always held Bret Hart as the greatest technician of all time.
I mean, where's the argument?
Man, I went and I was watching. I think it was the summer of 2015.
Okay.
I watched everything Benoit before he joined WWE, at the time WWF. I watched his 7 series with Booker T, dating all the way back to when he wrestled with Guerrero in ECW and then also in Japan. Man, I think Benoit slightly edges out Bret, in my opinion. I think Benoit slightly.
Whoa, wait a minute. You're talking by how much here? Because I mean,
it's a hair. It's like by a hair.
Because
I think Benoit slightly edges out Bret.
Wait a minute, because we're talking about Bret here, who took pride in making sure he took care of you in the ring, made sure that you never got hurt. That. I have a tag team here in Cincinnati that I independently help manage called Queen City Muscle. By the way, follow them on Instagram if you can. But listen, that's the big thing there is that, and I think that's the reason why a lot of people kind of put guys like Goldberg and those guys down here is because they're always getting guys hurt. Bret took pride in that. And so you're going to put Benoit just slightly
above, because but then at the same time, there's a bit of bias that exists there for me, because Benoit was my favorite in-ring wrestler of all time. Okay. But then, because there's no disrespect to Bret at all, but
I need you to show your receipts.
Yeah, because Benoit, like if you the 2000, I would say from 2003 until 2005.
Okay.
The best in-ring worker was Shawn Michaels, was best in-ring worker. But if you go back and you watch the matches that Benoit was putting on in up to his run to becoming world heavyweight champion,
yes,
almost every single one was banger after banger after banger, even when he wasn't primarily featured in the main event spot. Like they would just have Benoit, because he was part of that SmackDown 6, but they would just have Benoit in just random matches here and there. And then you just started seeing this dude like, wait a minute here, because it wasn't like he wasn't over. Benoit was never really the talker. I think a lot of people give Bret flack for not being great on the mic. I think Bret was great on the mic.
He was good on the mic.
Yeah, and Benoit wasn't anything special on the mic, but his in-ring work was so believable, and his intensity, I think that's where he has Bret beat in intensity, because Bret was intense. Benoit was on a whole different level. I mean, like when he gave you those knife edge chops, I think he delivered the chop better than Flair, but Flair made it famous. So for me, Benoit, his work with Brock, his work with Kurt Angle, his work with Triple H and Shawn Michaels, that 9-month span from, I think I would say SummerSlam, actually, no, I think it's about a year span from SummerSlam 2003, when he was, if I'm not mistaken, the sole survivor with John Cena. I think when they made Brock tap out, it was Benoit who had done that. From that SummerSlam up until, no, that was Survivor Series, but SummerSlam 2003 up until SummerSlam 2004. That year, I don't think there was ever, technical wrestling on that level like Benoit had, because he was 10 out of 10 every single match.
So here's the thing, the folks that listen to this here, and you know what, I got to have you back on here, because I wish we had more time with you there, because I would have had us go live there and take questions and answers from your followers and the folks that follow this. I got to have you back on at some point in this case here. So, but and the reason why I say that is because you pissed off a lot of folks that are AEW fans. Of all those top 5 matches there, not one mention of Omega and the Bryan Danielson match, which
I was there.
Great match, good match.
Oh, sensational match.
Why is it not top 5 though?
The only reason why I wasn't able, and I was there live, so I was able to actually feel. The only reason why I couldn't put it in the top 5 was because it finished to a draw. If it ended with a winner,
okay,
I would have had it in the top 5. I probably would have had that leapfrog. Maybe maybe I would have probably put it over the Sasha Banks and Bailey match.
Because I mean, I saw that match,
yeah,
man.
it was an absolute ruckus. Like watching Omega. Omega already had good matches before. Like he had that great match with Okada. I think this match was better than his match with Okada. And Danielson makes everybody look good. Like this guy's a magnificent worker. I mean, he didn't win Wrestler of the Year for like a decade straight for no reason. So it made sense. But that match there, it was so good. And booking wise, it was perfect to have it end in a draw. But had there been a clear-cut winner, I could throw it into that top 5 because it reminded me of the matches that would end at a draw when they would have the 60-minute time limit. You'd have a Flair and Steamboat back in like $88. Their trilogy. I think there was a one match that ended in a draw, and the other ones Flair had gone over and stuff. They had a lot of matches with that they end with no finish that are spectacular. Like Shawn and Triple H at that Royal Rumble, I think it was 2004. Their match ended to a draw. But if there was a clear-cut winner, Omega and Danielson would have gotten the nod because I was there live and the energy was crazy. I love the fact that they started the program with the match too. Sometimes, although it's a main event, you should have it go on first and set the tone.
Your thoughts on because those that follow you there, they see you, and I know I follow you on Instagram as well there too. I see you with your title belts, that you haven't displayed proudly there. Bret Hart, mentioning Bret Hart, he actually has something. I have it somewhere in here. I have a signed Winged Eagle belt from him. And when he signed it, he said, you know what, this is probably one of the most beautiful belts that's ever out there.
Absolutely.
Not that piece of garbage that they have out there right now. So this is going to be hard for you here too. Give me your promotion, be damned here. Give me your top 5 best. I'll give you my top 5 best looking belts there. Number 1, I gotta go with Winged Eagle because I'm showing my age here, but that belt right there, I associate that with, Bret Hart, Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage. I think Stone Cold was the last one to hold that particular belt. Macho Man, Sergeant Slaughter, Ultimate Warrior. God, say what you want about him, but Ultimate Warrior held that. So that's my number 1 there. Number 2 is the classic IC title. With the, I don't know what you want to call them,
the white strap.
Yes, the white strap with the classic WWF logo on it. That's because that belt during that time, and they've kind of gone away from it now. But you knew that if you had that particular belt, the company made you, acknowledge you as the workhorse of that brand. And again, the guys that have held that belt were usually first in line for that Winged Eagle belt. So, Stone Cold, again, Bret Hart, Bulldog, Mr. Perfect. I'm surprised in your top 5 wrestling match, not one Mr. Perfect match was mentioned.
Yeah, like even was it Bret and Perfect?
Yes,
in 93. Bret and Perfect in 93. Magnificent match.
Favorite match there.
Actually rewatched that like 4 weeks ago. I was actually watching that on a flight.
There you go. I'm trying to think. Number 3, the Big Gold. WCW Big Gold. Flair. Flair, Booker T. I don't know if I really want to associate that with Goldberg, but fine, what have you. But that's that one I see, and if I recall, mine's a little fuzzy there, but Flair brought that strap to WWE when he was signed. Before he won that Winged Eagle belt in the Royal Rumble match, I believe.
He had it. They had it, and they had to Bobby Heenan displayed it on WWF television, and then afterwards, that's when I think it was Vince he didn't want to get sued, so they started blurring it out on television. But the funny thing about it was when it was displayed and Bobby Heenan had it, that was the last time that it was actually displayed, because whenever
Wow.
Flair would come out, they had it blurred out,
Mhm.
but he was walking out with a tag team championship
Mhm.
belt, a regular WWF Tag Team Championship belt
Yeah.
replica, but they had it blurred out because they wanted the public to believe that he was carrying the WCW belt.
Well, there you go. And I'm trying to think. My other two belts, I like what AEW has done with their world title belt and the WCW US title belt. The one.
Oh, yeah, beautiful belt.
So give me your top five.
My five, and it's funny that you listed off the Winged Eagle, and also the World Heavyweight, because I have those belts. But my number one, because of the nostalgia that it was attached to me, is the Attitude Era Championship belt. It was the Winged Eagle, but it wasn't the same kind. Like it was the bigger plate.
Yeah, the one that Stone Cold, the one that they gave Stone Cold.
Yeah, the day after he won the Winged Eagle one, they changed the belt. So that's number one for me. Winged Eagle is number two. The IWGP Heavyweight Championship, what I would put at three, because that is a beautiful title. And I think AEW tried to, model the style of their title after, although it's completely different, but it looks more like the Lucha Underground. I think it was like the Trios Champ, something like that. But whatever the case is, that IWGP, beautiful title. There's that, and then that was my third. The fourth, I would have to say the classic WWF Tag Team Championship. The one that Brett and Anvil won at SummerSlam in '90. I actually have that. Yeah, I had to buy that because initially I was going to get the Attitude Era title, but then the clear finish on the belt, it's just beautiful detail.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I would have to put that at 4, and then for 5. This one is this is where it gets a bit tricky.
Like I said, hard-hitting questions on here.
Oh yeah, for 5 of the belts that I would say were the best looking belts, for 5. I never really got too into the US Championship. They can never really sell me on the appearance of that one.
The new one, right?
Yeah, the new one. The new one, even when it was with the flag, it was all right, but I felt like they could have done more. Maybe I would have to say let's see here. I have the Attitude Era belt, the Winged Eagle, IWGP, Classic, World Tag Team Championship. And I think I probably have to go Big Gold, man. I'd have to go Big Gold, because when I see Big Gold, I think Flair.
Yep.
I think Triple H, because it seemed like during his reign of terror, it was always on his waist. It looked, I think, in the WWE, when it came to the WWE, the big gold belt looked the best on Batista. So I think, I think those guys, when I think of that belt, I'd love to say Dusty Rhodes, but he didn't really have it during that time. So yeah, but the first person who comes to mind is Flair. So definitely I'd have to say the big gold. You can't go wrong with the big gold.
See, because it's just got that timeless look to it there. I mean, you can't really go wrong with that there. Kind of to change gears here a little bit here. If Jess was here, I was gonna do this as a bonus part of this episode, but I'm gonna kind of throw this in here in this case here. I'm gonna kind of go through some rapid fire thing here. We're gonna do something called shot clock. I'm gonna put 35 seconds on the clock here. I've got it up here. I'm just gonna throw stuff at you there. Just give me the first thing. Yeah, see, I'm challenging you here. This ain't like it is on Hot Mic here, whatnot there, where you're kind of in controlling things there. But like I said, 35 seconds, just kind of the first one that pops in. Mr. Adonis, are you ready to go?
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
All right, so I'll start the clock when I do this, when I finish asking the first one here, because it's kind of a lengthy one here. So, if you were still playing football right now and you were in the league, give me. And actually, I'm going to come back to this one when we get done here. Give me the one NFL player that you would not want any smoke from, on the field or off the field. Go.
On the field, off the field. Probably Jalen Ramsey.
Okay. Best wrestler that you have seen perform live.
Best wrestler. So AJ Styles.
Favorite Pittsburgh Steeler.
Hines Ward.
Favorite Heat player not named LeBron James or Dwayne Wade.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Best pay-per-view you've ever attended?
SummerSlam 2016.
Dog or cat?
Dog.
Go to, we're gonna let it go. Go to Haitian dish.
Ooh, boy. Oh man. Legume.
Go to bodega for the best New York City fast food.
Boy, best bodega, man. We just called the corner store. I'd have to say the middle store in Coney Island by my high school.
Last but not least, favorite moment you have seen in person or on TV in Madison Square Garden. Could be anything.
Wow. I'd say, was it when AJ Styles won the United States Championship? Or was it Kevin Owens beat AJ Styles? It was one or the other, but it was a title switch in MSG.
Now, keep in mind, it could be anything there, because I know you said you were, because Steph Curry did just break that 3-point record in MSG.
Oh no, I thought, because I wasn't there. I thought you meant like in person.
Like I said, in person or on TV.
Oh, in person or on TV in MSG. Probably did Kobe score 60? In the Garden? I can't remember, but it was
61.
Yeah, it was something
60,
like that. Like I know he went for like a crazy amount of points. Oh, actually, no, not Kobe. I'm wilding. Carmelo Anthony.
Okay.
In the game against the Bulls, he hit 2 buzzer beater shots, or I should say two clinching shots. Okay. One to force overtime, another one to win it in overtime. Carmelo Anthony. I believe it was 2013 in a game against the Bulls. I'd have to say that one. That was a wild moment.
That's good stuff there. So to kind of circle back to that one thing I asked you earlier there, you said Jalen Ramsey is the one player that you do not want to see on the field there. So like I said, if you're, I forget what position you played when you played football back in the day, but
receiver.
Okay. So let's say so let's put it this way here. Let's say you're a receiver for, let's say you're a Steelers receiver. Mm-hmm. Or any team, what have you there. Because there's a few players that if I were still playing, I would not want to see. Troy Polamalu would be one of them, because that man, what was it that Pat McAfee said?
The C gap. It was in the C gap. Oh,
well,
yeah.
Well, one of the things he said was that Ed Reed will hurt you, but Troy Polamalu will take years off your life.
Oh yeah.
So any player on the field, if you're on the field there, you're looking across. And you see one player and just like, what, this ain't gonna be my day. Who's that gonna be and why?
I'd say because Jalen Ramsey came to my mind because I was thinking it was for some apparent reason he was the first play, because they kept running commercials on NFL Network where he dressed up for the Mexican heritage, so he had on the so it's ingrained in my mind. I was thinking of a player, but if I'm a competitive guy, I'd play against anybody. But I think I would say either Jack Tatum or Dick Night Train Lane, because those two guys. Tatum tried to decapitate you as often as he could. And then Dick Night Train Lane, because he had a tackle that was named after him, being the necktie. This guy was JBL in the NFL. So, like, you're going to get clotheslined and you're not going to enjoy it.
You're going to get hurt.
You're gonna get hurt. Like I would have loved to say Butkus or Lambert or Ray Lewis or Steve Atwater or John Lynch or something, but Dick Night Train Lane and Jack Tatum, those two guys, headhunters.
See, I mean, that's something that's one of those deals. So I mean, as a receiver, how do you avoid that? Something like that. A player like
you can't, because it's not as if at those times, because Jack Tatum was playing, he's playing safety. So he's back there. He's just surveying the field. Yeah. You run a post, you run a dig, something in the middle of the field, and he's coming full speed. You're in trouble. Dick Night Train Lane, in that case, if they're throwing a screen, please don't do that. Don't call that. If I'm in the huddle, they're like, all right, we're going to throw a screen. I'm like, Coach, I disagree. I'm going to the other side. We're flipping. I don't think this is a good idea. Night Train Lane's over there. You're giving him a running start to come get me. This ain't going to end well. My family don't even know I'm at this game right now. It's not going down like that.
See, I mean, that's just something that and I kind of, again, for me, I think it would probably be Polamalu, because, if I see that glorious flowing locks of hair there, man, I'm avoiding that best I can. Because I know for a fact that I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna need to take an ice bath for about a week. In this case, you're wishing. Now, I mentioned something about MSG. You've been there many times before for all kinds of things as a native New Yorker. What is it? And I tried to ask Jess this, because she's worked in pro sports a lot longer than I have. But what is it? Because I know when I was at Louisville, when they were still in the Big East tournament would be at Madison Square Garden. That was on my bucket list things of events to attend because it's at Madison Square Garden. It's but what and I kicked myself that I never got a chance to go with the conference change that they had. What is it about Madison Square Garden? I mean, it's on the outside looks like just any other arena, 20,000 seats, nothing flashy about it. What is it, in your opinion, that makes Madison Square Garden so unique and so special, where it's like, listen, if you're doing something big there, it means something, in your opinion?
I would say it's less about the aesthetic and the outside. It's more about the history of the events that happened there, but also it being right smack dab in the middle. It's only like 8 blocks away from Times Square, but being smack dab in the middle of Manhattan, it's a cornucopia of people that come inside, because it's the people that make it special. Because not only is it just you have your native New Yorkers that are there, but people travel from all over the world to come together for whatever event it is that you're watching. So the energy that's inside of the room is always on 10. Like, I went to go see Bill Burr there. It was crazy energy. Every time WWE comes there, it's crazy energy. I've never been to a basketball game in there, but I'm pretty sure that's always on 10. Like, Steph Curry doesn't play for the New York Knicks. He plays for the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
He was getting a standing ovation when he broke the record. And moreover, the crowd was losing their mind from before the tip-off up until the shot was made, which took about like 7 minutes to do so.
Right.
So you're talking about a crowd that are on their feet through and through, despite the fact that you shouldn't be cheering for this person.
Right.
So it's the energy inside the room is ridiculous. And I think because of the way it was constructed, the noise is ridiculously loud. Like a cheer inside of an open stadium, or even, let's not even go open stadium because that's somewhat cheating. You'd say it's a cheer inside of the Louisiana Superdome.
Oh, been right? there.
A cheer, yeah, and I've been there too. It was a preseason game, but I mean, it's not the same energy. But they love their Saints down there. I'll just say that.
Absolutely.
But the roar of the crowd in there, it's loud. It's doubled in MSG because I don't know the way it was constructed, but whatever the case is, somebody cheering in there is 2 times louder than somebody cheering somewhere else. Man. I would have loved to have somebody compare, the sound scale of like when Peyton Manning was running the Colts back in the RCA Dome.
I've been there. It is. They put sound deafeners in the or they did in the inflatable part of that roof there, but it was funny when when the offense would be on the field, when he was running it, it'd be you'd hear pin drop, right? Defense comes on the field and Dwight Freeney's on there, he's lighting folks up left and right. It's enough to make your head ring. Oh yeah, even with the sound deafeners in there. Lucas Oil is fine and whatnot, but nothing like the RCA Dome.
Yeah, even Arrowhead Stadium, and then also now named Lumen Field for the Seattle. Those two teams, they would constantly, they were considered the loudest, stadiums and everything. But for MSG, just to wrap the question up, it's the fans, it's the people who come inside that make it special.
Man, see, this is and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on here, man, because this is insight that you're not going to get from anyone else there, man. I got to have you on. I got to have you back, man. You want to come back on sometime down the road?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm all for
it. And like I said, matter of fact, I will give you the keys to this place. I will give you the keys to this pod when I can't record there. Be like, listen, here's the keys. Just don't put a scratch on it there. Just come on here, say whatever the hell you want. We don't care. You ain't got to worry about Nancy giving you issue. You ain't got to worry about getting blocked. That's the beauty of doing these pods here, man. Well, listen, man, I know you're about to go on live on Hot Mic here in a bit.
Yep.
We got Patriots Colts coming up here in a bit there. So real quick before we wrap up here, man, like I said, your Steelers, my Titans tomorrow, man. I know your video is about to premiere here real quick here. I can tell you what I think the Titans need to do to win this game tomorrow. We don't got Derrick Henry. We might have Julio. We're probably not going to have AJ Brown. And it's a road game. It's at Heinz Field. So, in your opinion? What do your Steelers got to do to break my heart tomorrow?
First and foremost, it starts with the offensive line. They got to protect. If they go out there and pack it in like they did in the first half against the Vikings, the same way, this upcoming week, or I should say tomorrow against the Titans, they're going to have a bad time. Bud Dupree just returned back. I believe he was hurt or something, or if he was on the COVID list or something.
Yeah, he was on the COVID list, but I think he should be back and he should be active for tomorrow.
And it's a homecoming for him. You're coming back to the team that drafted you, right? And this guy, he's going to want to get after it. For sure, he's going to want to get after it. But if the offensive line can go out there and block and give Ben time, he's proven the past 3 weeks he can lead. He can still lead you to victories. He may not be the same, Ben that he was years prior. But these past 3 weeks in the game against the Chargers, it's almost single-handedly he drove them all the way back. Against the Ravens, trailing in the fourth quarter, Ben took over and brought them back. Last week against the Vikings, Ben brought them back. If the offensive line can protect and give that brother some time, Ben can definitely break you guys' hearts, because I'm not too concerned about the wide receivers. As long as Ben can get the football in the air, their hands aren't for decoration this season. They're just mentals is for decoration. That's where the issue lies. But Ben can get those guys the football. And then on the defensive side of the ball, if Pittsburgh can get off the field on third down, we won't have that big of an issue. Because all season long, third and long,
yeah.
Pittsburgh have given up conversion after conversion after conversion. It's ridiculous.
Give me your predict. All right, so give me your prediction for 3 things for me. Give me your prediction for Steelers Titans tomorrow, and of course, I know you're going to do a video on college football playoff. Give me your prediction. Who's winning Alabama, Cincinnati? Who's winning Georgia, Michigan? Give me your thoughts on those 4. First of all, give me your prediction Steelers Titans, and give me your thoughts on that final 4. And who's going to the title game? Who's winning it? And I should probably also ask you who's winning the Super Bowl as well there too. Don't give me a Super Bowl. Don't give me a, I'll probably just be like, yeah, who are your 2 teams in the Super Bowl at the end of this?
Okay. All right. So Steelers Titans. I'm going to roll Steelers to win this game. I'm going to roll Steelers to win this game. I think I'm going to put it at 21-17.
I'm only allowing you to do this because you're a guest.
Such leniency. I appreciate that. I'll go Steelers Titans
because you're my guy, man. Like I said, I have you back there. College football playoff. How you see that going?
Boy, Alabama, Cincinnati. I can't not go Alabama here. So I think I'll go Alabama to go back to the national championship and attempt to try to repeat. And then
Georgia, Michigan, though.
Georgia, Michigan. You know what? I feel like this is Michigan's time. This season has just been very special for those guys. And Georgia, had they taken down Alabama, I think they would have probably been able to run the table. But, man, I feel like that morale got shot in the chest. And he's turned it around. This season has been a fairy tale. And after, 6 years of just absolute failure after failure after failure and coming up short, this is the year. This is the year. I think it's going to be Michigan, Alabama in the championship. And my God, I'd love to say Alabama going to win, but damn it, I'm rooting for the underdogs. I want Michigan to go all the way.
You're a Michigan guy, aren't you?
No, not I'm more of an Alabama, because I don't really have a team in college football. There's just 3 teams that I cheer for, and I really want to see them, be successful. It's Alabama, USC, and the Miami Hurricanes. I just want to see those 3 teams be successful. But for whatever reason, I feel like this is Michigan's time. And moreover, for Harbaugh, it's long overdue. So I feel like he needs to finally get because there was a lot of things that were out of his control that happened. A lot of, moments in games that are done like by players. But of course, at the college level, do you blame the players or do you always go towards the coach? So It's always go towards the coach. I think it would be perfect, because Saban's got 7. It's not, oh man, send Nick Saban, he won another national champ. We already know where he sits. He's the greatest college coach of all time.
Right.
This means more for Michigan than anybody else. So I think Michigan in the national championship. And last but not least for the Super Bowl, honestly, I wish I can give you one team. Going into this year, there were 4 teams that I believe that could represent well, 5 actually, that can represent in the Super Bowl. On the NFC, I believe it was only 2. The NFC, it was the Rams and the Packers. So it's one of those 2 teams. Nope. In fact, I don't even. I said it earlier in the season. I think I'm going to still sit at the same spot now. I don't even think Tampa's going to win a playoff game.
Really?
I don't even think Tampa's going to win a playoff game. They'll win their division, but I think they're going to get upset in a playoff game. I don't think Brady wins a playoff game this year. Oh, yeah. Because I just feel like if you watch Tampa this season, it's very similar to last year. But last year, a lot of things went their way, and they won those 50-50 games. This year, they've been able to get those victories, but their opponents have always had a chance to win. And I think this time around, you get to the postseason, those opportunities of things going in your way, they start to, that window kind of shrinks. They got real, I'm not going to say lucky last year because they capitalized on their opponent's mistakes. But this year, I don't think they get that same luxury. So on the NFC, I'm going to go Rams, Packers, and on the AFC.
You realize you made a lot of Cowboys fans cry, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think the Cowboys can go as far as the division, but for the conference championship, I don't see of course, I don't see the Cowboys being able to beat Green Bay as long as Aaron Rodgers is alive. Or I should say as a starting quarterback. I want to say alive. Man's going to leave next year, but I don't see them beating the Packers for sure. Now the Rams, that could be a tricky one, but if the Rams offensive line is able to create holes for the running backs, then I don't see the Cowboys getting that far. But NFC, Rams, Packers, and then the AFC, there's 3 teams. This was my prediction from the beginning of the year. There's the Chiefs.
Okay.
And I also actually had the Titans there as well.
Really?
Yeah, but with the Titans at full health, I thought, man, this is a team that could go to the Super Bowl. And then last but not least, my bias would put my Steelers there. But from right now, I'd say those are the those teams can possibly make it. But the way Pittsburgh's looking right now, I'm going to leave the bias alone. I'll say in the AFC, it's the Chiefs and the Patriots.
Those 2.
Oh yeah,
man. Listen, man, I got Chiseled, man. It's always a pleasure hanging out with you, man. Having a conversation with you, man. Dude, come back. Dude, come on back on here, man. Matter of fact, I almost ask you when we get off here, when do you want to come back? Because listen, my door is open. Well, that door is literally open there. But listen, this pod is open. You can come on here, say whatever you want there. I will let you take over this, man. You can come on back on here whenever you want, man. You've always been a great friend, man. It's always great hollering at you, man. I need to get up to New York and holler at you, man.
I'm out here.
You need to get me up there, man. Like I said, if I almost want to say if we can both get Steelers Titans on our local televisions there, whatnot, I have no problem with us going live, man, and you doing live commentary on that with us both on there. You got one Steeler fan, one Titan fan there. Thrill of victory here, agony of defeat, or however you. I think that would be fun, man. If you're down for that, I'll probably shoot you a message on that there. But listen, man, thanks for coming on, man. Taking some time out of your busy schedule. I got to have you back, man. So usually at the end of this thing, I usually say, listen, look into that camera there or on that microphone. For folks that don't follow you, how can they follow you? How can they keep up with you? What do you got going on your days?
Well, if you're trying to find me all over social media, you can find me at Chiseled Adonis, whether that's on YouTube, Facebook. I believe it's Chiseled Adonis Reloaded because they blocked the first account. Instagram, find me at Chiseled Adonis. Twitter, I'm on there as well. I post on Twitter. So I like to put daily content up on there as well. TikTok, I'm on my 3rd TikTok, so it's Chiseled Adonis with 2 underscores. I am everywhere on social media. You can find me on Snapchat. I'm on Pornhub. I'm everywhere where you can share content. I am there, and go ahead and follow me and get these laughs.
I mean, you gotta follow this guy, man. Of course, y'all know how to follow me. Chiz, I need you to follow me on these socials here. You can, of course, follow me. I'm on Facebook. Well, you're already my friend on Facebook, man. So we already got that covered. Instagram, JHKNG82. I'm on Twitter at the Mr. James King. I really don't tweet a whole bunch of stuff there. I'm usually just, making fun of other folks tweeting stupid stuff anyway. So, I mean, if you want to follow me on that, I'm not really doing anything worthwhile on there in that case, but it's totally fine there. Jess is on Instagram at the Princess Jess. That's okay. We still love her to death, even though she got her schedule confused there. She's going through some stuff with Barstool Sports right now. It's a mess there, but we still love Jess. We still love you. We got to have you back on here. We got to have her back on here. So, of course, Chiz is going to have this on his page there. Don't forget to, subscribe to the podcast Off the Rails, James and Jess. If you follow it on the Apple podcast, just search Off the Rails with James and Jess. Look for the picture with the train that's going off the tracks. That is me and Jess, and of course today me and Chiseled. We're working on trying to get some new art for that there, but that's okay. We'll go with the train crashing because that's what we do here. We get on one topic and we just go totally left field. That's what we do here. So, but again, Chiseled, man, thanks for coming on here. Hey, he's about to be on Hot Mic. If you're watching this live, we gotta go live on one of those next time. Get some questions and answers on there. I would have done that today, but our time is limited because Mr. Adonis is about to go on Hot Mic. He's about to do Patriots Colts here in about 15 minutes.
Yeah, in about 15, I think I'll start the stream.
So make sure you guys go follow this man on Hot Mic. Go, matter of fact, before I forget, Chisel, you're giving away some stuff there here in a bit, aren't you?
Oh yeah, Christmas Day, giving away a Xbox X.
Oh God. Oh
yeah, so there's an Xbox X here bundle.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, Xbox X, and also let me put this down right here.
Don't do it. Don't show it. Don't show it.
And also a PS5.
Oh.
And also a PS5. This is going to somebody. So whoever, both of them will be leaving my grasp. And also for the people who happen to want to go and join the Patreon, I'm giving away. Well, this is not an iPad. This is a MacBook. But I'm giving away two iPads for my Patreon members as well.
This guy is giving away a PS5 here. You know how I still haven't got my PS5 yet there, and I'm a subscribed to his Hot Mic. I don't think I'd be eligible for it there. I feel bad about taking it there if I want it. So
Oh no, you do. You are eligible. Oh yes, everybody who is follows me on a Hot Mic, they're all eligible.
Man,
yeah, but for the iPad giveaway is only for the my Patreon members. We're gonna raffle it off. And 2 Patreon people are gonna leave with an iPad. But for the PS5 and Xbox X, everybody, even if the prior winners, the 4 prior winners, they're also entered as well. So everybody is entered. You have a 1 in 16,000th chance
there you go
at winning 2 in 16,000 chance because I'm giving away 2 in 32 I guess, but opportunity giving away both of the consoles. But hey, if you got burner accounts, you increase your chances. So we'll see.
This guy's giving away a PS5. I mean, and I have the pleasure and the honor of calling this guy. Well, I'm pointing. Okay, yeah, this way.
Yeah, you're pointing the right way.
Am I pointing the right way here?
No, the other way.
Other way. Okay, yeah, cool.
Oh yeah,
this guy right here. I have the pleasure and honor of calling this guy a friend here, right? And this guy is giving away. How many PS5? How many PS5s and Xbox are you giving away?
Well, this would be my 3rd PS5 and 3rd Xbox that I'm giving away. Yeah.
This guy's giving away PS5s and Xboxes. Who does that? Right. So go and follow this guy on Hot Mic. Chime in with this guy here. I mean, listen, Chiz, man, it's always a pleasure to holler at you, man, talk with you, man. The beard game is looking great. I'm trying to be like you. My wife doesn't like the hang time, so I have to trim it down. But that's okay. We still love her. She's not here right now, so I can talk bad about her. That's okay. Okay, yeah, she ain't here, so it's all good. So listen, folks, thanks for tuning in, guys. This is another episode of Off the Rails. Chiz, you want to come back, man?
Oh yeah, for sure. We'll just have to work out when, and I will be back.
What's your January look like?
Oh, January's tough. January and February is very tight.
I tell you what, I got your email, man. If you got another way I can reach you, man, that's cool. Just put that in the chat box, which is, I guess, over there. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, man, come back, man. Do not be a stranger, man. Like I said, this podcast is open for you, man. It's, would love to have you back on, man. It's a pleasure having you on, my man. Like I said, I will probably, matter of fact, you know what? I'll see you over at Hot Mic here in about 15 minutes. I think I may jump in there and watch that with you there. I ain't got nothing else going on there. So I will see you at Hot Mic. I hope all y'all follow me over to Hot Mic to follow this guy here. Chiz, you got anything else for me, man, before we sign off?
That is all. Head over to Hot Mic, tune into the game, and then afterwards, I know there's that sham of a boxing match of Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley. I might stay live or go live again when they go towards the ring to start the fight. I might just cover that as well.
Let's get on here, man. Chisel, man, I look forward to having you back on here, man. This has been another episode of Off the Rails, folks. We'll see you all in the next time. And what's the old saying? Chill to the next episode. By the way, Chiz, when we end this episode, I know you're an anime fan. We play Last Train Home at the end of this here. I know you're. We'll see y'all. Y'all be easy, all right?